Hi Corona Cafe, welcome to our first members only yoga video. I do have a microphone headset now, but I've heard some feedback that people like the ambient nature sounds. So let's roll with that for today. If you have any concerns about audio quality, if you can't hear well enough, please let me know and I'll get that headset on for next time. I had a bit of a difficult day, and so my body is just looking for something gentle and soothing, and perhaps you're in the same boat. So we're gonna go, well, let's be real, we're gonna be gentle almost always with our yoga practices, though I do hope to make a few that are more strength-based going forward, a few where we can work on gently rebuilding strength. But today we're not gonna be doing much with that. We're mostly just gonna be stretching, breathing, relaxing. As you can see, I've just got a towel in the grass. So you don't need any special props, just comfortable clothes that you can move in. And we will start out lying down on our backs. So get comfortable here. I've got my knees bent. My palms are face up. And I'm just settling into the earth. If it feels good to shut your eyes, then let them fall closed. Take a moment to notice where you're still holding on in your body. Is there a part of you that's doing work right now? See if you can gently release some of that work that you might be doing. Begin to bring your attention to the breath, maybe feeling your chest or your belly rise with the inhalation and fall with the exhalation. And then we're going to get a little bit more deliberate with our breath. So what we want to try to do is to make our exhalation long, steady, and slow. And as we're doing that, we're going to bring our awareness to what's happening in the core muscles, in the belly muscles. So take a nice, big, but natural feeling inhalation. And then slowly, steadily, for as long as you can, release that breath out, holding that flow of your breath steady as it moves out. At some point, you're going to near the end of it, and you'll feel your abdominal muscles pull in and contract at the end of that exhalation as you push that last bit of breath out. Take a natural breath when you're all done. We're going to repeat that several more times and try to really exaggerate that pulling in of the belly muscles. So just gently refinding our core, which maybe we haven't been very in touch with it lately. So take a nice big inhale when you're ready. And then that long, long, steady exhalation, feeling how as the air moves out, the belly muscles pull in, the pelvic floor lifts up. Seeing if you can get every last bit of air out, then finding your inhalation again. We're just going to repeat that same process, so move at your pace. And at any point, if you feel uncomfortable breathing in this way, just take a natural breath or two and then reassess whether you want to return to this belly breathing. Continuing to give your attention to the feeling of your breath and the feeling of your core muscles pulling in and supporting you at the end of each exhalation. In this yoga practice and future yoga practices, we'll talk a lot about engaging the core muscles or drawing the navel in toward the spine. This sensation that you're finding at the end of your exhalation, that's what I'm talking about. If I say to engage your core, to pull the navel in toward the spine, we're talking about what your muscles naturally do toward the end of an exhalation. Take one more complete breath like this. And when you're done, we're just going to pull into a ball, giving ourselves a hug. If it's not comfortable to bring both knees into the chest, they can be farther out, or you can even just hug one leg in at a time. Give yourself a moment to feel this hug, to feel a gentle lengthening of the low back, perhaps. Allow the back to settle into the earth. And continue to notice the flow of air in and out of your body. With the next inhale, we'll take the arms overhead. Exhale, drop the toes so you're on your tiptoes. Slowly, keeping those belly muscles engaged, extend your legs out until you find a full body stretch. Take a breath here. We'll walk the feet over to the right, the hands over to the right, the head over to the right, to stretch the left side of the body. Taking a mindful breath here. And then we'll walk the feet, the hands, the head over to the left, creating this C with the side body, opening up the right side now. Breathing. And then find your way to center in this full body stretch still. One more big inhale. Exhale, hug it all in. And then we'll drop the arms out to the sides so they come straight out. Exhale, drop the knees over to your right and take your gaze to your left hand for a gentle reclined twist. It's okay if the knees don't come all the way to the ground. Inhale the knees back up to center. Exhale them to the opposite side. Again, taking your gaze to the hand on the other side of your body. Breathing in this twist. We'll inhale the knees back up to center. And go ahead and drop the left foot down. Keep that right knee heavily bent. Bring the right foot up toward the sky. Reach with the right hand. Maybe you can find the outside of the right foot. Now, if that's too much, you can grab the ankle, the shin. You can even hold the back of the thigh. So find where you can comfortably grab. If you have lots and lots and lots of mobility in your joints and you're very flexible, in a time when you're probably not doing a lot of strength training, I'd recommend not going to your edge. So if this is your edge, back away from it. If you're hypermobile, this is probably not your edge though. So take a breath here. We're opening the right hip. It can feel good to rock just a little, to make some tiny circles with the right foot. It could also feel good to roll over to the right a bit and then ground that left heel firmly to open up the front of the left thigh. So it's okay to play a little. It's okay to explore a little. And find what feels good in your body. If you've rocked over to the right a little, come back to center. We'll release the foot. Bend that knee. Bring the opposite leg up now. So the left leg, maybe we grab the outside of the foot, maybe the ankle, the shin, the back of the thigh. When we find it, we can extend the opposite leg straight. Keep this foot nice and flexed. That's going to help protect the knee. And once again, maybe we want to rock side to side. Maybe you want to make some little circles with the left foot. Or maybe you want to roll over onto your left hip a bit and then press down through the right heel to find a stretch across the front of the right thigh. Or maybe you want to do something I haven't suggested, and that's okay. It's okay to play, to be curious, as long as you're mindful in that process, listening to the feedback that your body offers you. Continue to breathe. We can use each breath as an anchor to bring us back to the present moment when our mind drifts away. If you've rocked to one side, come back to center, release that foot. We'll plant both feet, drop them to one side. It doesn't really matter which. We're rolling onto our bellies. So if you can do it gracefully, good job. I can't. Find your way to your belly, and we'll plant the forearms for starters, coming into Sphinx pose. So it's natural to just want to hang here in the shoulders, hang in the belly. Instead, think about lengthening the spine, pressing into the forearms, lifting up through the shoulders so the back of the neck lengthens, and maybe the belly even lifts off of the ground a little bit. Also, it might not, and that's totally fine. I think many of us have softer bodies than we are accustomed to, and that's totally fine. Breathe here. Think about extending the heart forward. Think about drawing the shoulder blades together a bit on the back. So we're opening the heart gently. And then we'll point the toes, kick one foot up, look over the same shoulder toward that foot. Opposite side, kick the leg up, look over the shoulder. Back and forth at your own pace. So we have a gentle back bend, a gentle twist. Keep it gentle, making the movement as little as your body wants it to be. Remembering to not just hang in the low back, but keep everything engaged, pressing through those forearms. One more to each side. And then we'll come to center, come down onto the belly. Rest for a moment. You can bring the arms alongside the body. Relax on one cheek or on the forehead, whatever feels good. Take a deep breath in and out. How does it feel different to breathe on your stomach? We'll lift the head. Bring the hands right alongside the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back. Inhale, press up on the hands to lift up just a little. It's not a huge lift. Cobra pose. Exhale down. With your breath, inhale back up. If it feels good to lift a little higher, you can. It's not a contest. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Open the heart. Exhale. We're going to push up into this tabletop pose, but we're not staying. We're bringing the toes together, the knees apart, sinking down into child's pose. So in child's pose, my bottom is sitting on my heels, my forehead is on the ground. If that's not accessible for you, you can put a pillow under your forehead. You can stack your fists. You can use cushions anywhere that it feels good. So we don't want any strain here. When you find your child's pose, just settle in. I'm lifting my head so that my voice isn't muffly, but let that head relax down. Feel softness in the spine. Feel an opening in the hips. If it feels good to keep the arms extended, keep them extended. If you'd like to draw them in alongside the body, that's just fine too. This pose is like every other pose you'll ever do with me, in that it's your pose and it's your yoga practice. So let's make sure it feels good for you. And take a few more breaths here in our child's pose. One more complete breath. We'll lift the gaze. Take the gaze out to your hands. Lift the bottom, let the hands slide forward 8 to 12 inches, and then let the heart sink down, the chin sinks down. Breathing in. Feeling an opening in the shoulders, the armpit. Inhale back up. We're gonna come into a seated position, so however you wanna get there is just fine. And we'll start out simply cross-legged. We'll roll the shoulders up to the ears and onto the back. We'll inhale the arms overhead. We'll exhale over to the right. So plant the right hand. Create space between the ribs on the left side of the body. With your inhale, come up. With your exhale, find the other side. Feeling those spaces between the ribs on the right side of the body, really rooting down through that right hip. Inhale up. And we'll take the right leg out. So let this left leg stay tucked in, folded in. The right leg is out, the right foot is flexed. Turn the body toward the right foot. Take a big inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, we're gonna find a gentle fold, hinging from the hips. So if you round your spine, you're gonna be able to fold farther, but that can also put a lot of pressure on the discs, particularly in the low back. And so let's hinge from the hips, keeping the spine long, folding forward. Maybe you can reach the toes, maybe you hold somewhere else along the leg. Breathing here. Sending breath to the hamstring, sending breath to the outside of that leg. Allowing the muscles to slowly soften and release. And then you can stay right here. Or if you'd like, you can take this right arm, tuck it into the inside of the right leg. Inhale the left arm toward the sky, opening the heart. Maybe looking forward, maybe looking up to that hand. Now, this is optional, right? You can stay in that first pose as well. Breathe here. Have a little more energy and you want a bit more of a heart opener, then follow me. If not, stay right here. So if you have a little more energy today and you want something a little more challenging for just a moment, plant this back hand behind you, lift the hips, lift the heart, and exhale back down. So just a really little movement. If that sends you into tachycardia, makes you dizzy, it's not for you. If you think it will do that, it's not for you. So we're gonna switch sides now, tucking the right leg in, extending the left leg out, flexing that left foot. Turn toward the foot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach. One of the challenges of long haul COVID, as you undoubtedly know, and one of the challenges of preparing a yoga class for people with long haul COVID is that we can all be in very different places in terms of our physical energy and ability on a given day. And in fact, you know, I personally am in very different places from myself day to day. And so a practice that's gonna feel great one day isn't gonna be the right fit another day. And a practice that's gonna work for one person isn't going to work for another, at least not on that day. And so I really encourage you in this video and every video to remember that this is your practice, and yoga is not some magic bullet that's going to be universally healing. It's a buffet from which you should pick and choose what works for you. So you can stay here, hinging from the hips, stretching in. You can also take that left hand, plant it in, inhale the right arm up. So buffet, we have options. Maybe you're here, maybe you're just folding gently over that leg, keeping the spine long. Maybe you have a bit more energy today and you want that heart opener If so, we're coming up. We're planting the right hand behind us. Inhale, lift the left arm, lift the hips, lift the heart. Just take a breath here and then settle back down. We'll all bring the legs in. Let the feet come together and open like a book. Holding around the feet. It might feel good to bounce the knees a little, bringing some movement here. Again, if you can hinge from the hips and fold, great. Let's not do any big rounding of the spine. It might feel good to close your eyes, settle into the sensations in your body. Notice the quality of your breathing. And notice if you tend to want to attach a judgment to that. So our breathing isn't good or bad, but does it feel easy? Does it feel constricted? Does it feel open? Does it feel full? Does it feel shallow? Bring curiosity to that question as you notice the sensations in your body in this moment and as you notice them day to day. Take one more inhale here and an exhale. And then we're going to come back down onto our backs, because one of the perks of long haul COVID is that we get to be gentle. We don't have to do hours of vinyasa yoga. We get to go easy on our bodies and settle in. And doing that is the gift we give our bodies to help in our healing. So you can keep the feet planted and let the knees fall together. You can lie flat on your back, or if lying on your back does not feel good for you right now, then just lie on one side. We're going to settle in, okay? So we're finding our way towards Shavasana. So if it feels good to close your eyes, then let the eyes shut. Wherever we are, we're going to take a scan of the body. But before we begin scanning part by part, just notice if something's uncomfortable and needs adjusting. So the ground beneath me is a little bumpy, and so being on my back flat is feeling funky. So I'm going to bend my knees in. If something's funky for you, adjust, make a change, grab a pillow, roll onto your side, get a blanket. And then we'll let the eyes close. And we'll let our awareness settle in our feet. Give your toes a little bit of a wiggle. And pause to notice how amazing it is that you can just have the thought to wiggle your toes and then your toes wiggle. Even though they're relatively far from your brain, no time passes at all and your toes begin wiggling. It's easy to notice the things that are wrong in our bodies right now, but there is so much that is right. So wiggle those toes. Notice the gift of that capacity. And then let the toes settle down. And let the feet begin to grow heavy. Letting them just flop out to the sides if you're flat on your back, or letting them grow heavy into the earth if your knees are bent. And as the feet release, as the muscles relax and soften, let that softness travel up through the shins and the calves, feeling those muscles grow heavy, almost as if they were going to peel away from the bone. Feel that heaviness travel up across the kneecaps and into the thighs, inviting softness, inviting all of the muscles of the legs to let go. Let the hips, the pelvis, the buttocks be heavy. Let the belly be soft. Let the chest be open and soft. And invite that softness up into the throat. Soften the muscles of the jaw, the muscles around the eyes, releasing all the way up to the crown of your head. Most importantly, invite softness into the mind. Thoughts are likely to float past, but let them float past. Let them come and let them go without holding on to any one of them. Let your thoughts pass through like a little rustle of wind in the tree, or like leaves on a stream. Feel yourself take one more mindful breath here in this soft, open body. Noticing that in this moment, you have everything you need. And in this moment, you are everything you need to be. Noticing that even in your human form, you are whole, you are enough, you are beautiful. When you're ready, if you're on your back, go ahead and roll to one side. If you're on one side, you can just hang tight there. Let the eyes blink open, wiggle in any part of your body that is craving a wiggle. And then when you're ready to sit up, use the arms, the hands to help you come up. Rising gently, finding a comfortable seated position, and we'll take one last breath together here. Inhaling the arms overhead, reaching long, exhaling them to heart center. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.